Hi, everyone. Welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed, the television edition for Wednesday, May 30th. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, my goodness. For Wednesday. How's that for an echo?
That's a great echo.
We're on a little bit of a delay, you know, in case we swear or something.
What the fuck?
I know, right?
No.
See, that's
we're broadcasting
that's
from
a
the
great
QCE News
great
studio.
example. Yes, we have to be family friendly at this hour when we're at QCE News, home of the Queen City Examiner, QCEnews.com. So
Queen City
Capital Examiner.
Queen City Capital Examiner, yes.
We've got a new guest.
I've been corrected by the great Glenn R.J. Willett. Welcome, Glenn. And, of course, to my right is Chris Rose.
Hi, everybody. Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's so nice.
I've been without contact with the people since
I
Friday.
don't feel so great tonight. I'm so tired.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm always tired. That's because I don't sleep much. And, of course, welcome to Paxton88 in the chat room.
Hi, Paxton88 in the chat room.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yes. And so welcome, everyone, to the show tonight. I guess we'll, if you gentlemen don't mind, we'll start with something that I didn't know about until right before getting on the air for Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades.
You didn't know about it?
I didn't know about this until right before we went on the air.
You don't read the papers.
Well, in terms of newspapers, Glenn, the only paper I read
is the Queen City Capital Examiner.
Then you don't read it too often. It only comes out once a month.
Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly.
He hasn't been updated with the information.
No,
So,
I haven't updated yet.
Other than that, I mean, I might as well be in a cave until the next issue comes out.
You're from Concord. You don't read the Concord Monitor?
No, too many
Useless Leader?
typos.
The useless leader.
The useless leader, no. Or the Union Liar. So it's been an interesting time, and I know we have viewers and listeners all over the country, but we do have more in New Hampshire than anywhere else in terms of our demography. And it's been an interesting time in the New Hampshire state legislature, yes, in the political arena here in New Hampshire, that some of these things that happen actually do make national news. So even though we have viewers and listeners in other parts of the country, we assume that you're probably fascinated, as we are, by the circus, the ongoing circus here.
Circus.
Oh, absolutely.
I used the C word, yes.
There's one across the street tonight for the next 3 days.
Really? Do they have clowns?
I'm sure they do.
They have those scary French-Canadian clowns. It's the Cirque du Soleil.
Oh,
yeah.
What's so
my
scary
goodness.
about that? You don't like masks?
Go see it. Speaking of circus, it's actually a 3-ring circus that's going on in New Hampshire because things seem to happen in threes.
Yes, they do.
Steve Valancourt,
yes,
John Heichel, and now
DJ Betancourt.
DJ Betancourt.
All belonging to the GOP.
Yes, the Grand Old Party.
How
Yes.
strange is that? They can't be blaming the Democrats for that, and can they? Or nor the Independents.
Oh, I'm sure there's Republicans who think it's Obama's fault.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure.
Everything is
Obama's
Obama's
birth
fault.
certificate.
Yes, absolutely. Again, let me just get everyone up to speed here. And again, I just found out about this a couple hours ago, right before going on the air for Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades, because Gary Hopper said to me, and our guest was Evan Knapp, and it might have been Evan who said it, who's the president of Pro Gun New Hampshire. They were commenting about how John Heichel must be a happy guy. Oh, I remember what Gary said exactly. He said, John Heichel owes DJ Betancourt a beer.
Yes.
Really?
Because
it took his name off.
Because yes, because John Heichel, after making an 80-year-old woman cry, that story has now dissipated because now we have a new scandal, if you will.
And yet, oddly enough, Steve Valancourt is pissed that the limelight's not still on him.
He's probably very upset.
It's funny how you say that, Chris, because when I invited him last Friday to come on this show, he said I only give limelight on my own show.
Yeah.
Not on somebody else's show. So if you don't want the limelight, don't show up.
Ego on that man. The size of the ego on that man.
Well,
it's got to be done on my show.
I would just assume that he's intimidated by me.
I'm intimidated.
You think you're intimidated?
I think Steve Valancourt is intimidated by me. And I say that this is no way a gambit to try to lure him in.
No. He says he doesn't want to come. He doesn't want to come. It's his issue.
I think he is intimidated to partake in the what I feel, and I hope you gentlemen will agree, is the most compelling hour in weekly episodic television in the history of broadcast media.
Matt Connarton Unleashed, or
yes.
You think he'd be afraid that the questions you might ask directly, not indirectly?
Perhaps he would. So, Steve Valancourt, I understand you're afraid of me, and this is in no way to try to goad you into coming on my show. I know you're
but
just.
You can come on to me anytime. Whoa, no, that's wrong. That's
Oh
wrong,
my
wrong.
God.
I didn't know
I believe you said that.
Really, Valancourt? Really? Well, he's a powerful and attractive man.
He is someone's type, that's
Well,
for sure.
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Right? Yes. Wait, which one? I don't even know which
Powerful.
one he would be. Is he powerful?
Oh, I guess not.
Nah.
Not even really.
No.
And he's only a representative. He's not even a senator.
I know, right? And he never will be at the
And
rate
even
he's
then,
going.
you'd be a state senator. So
Yes, exactly.
that's my apologies to anyone running for the state senate.
Well, let me read to you the most recent article. This is from Boston.com, which is run by Boston Globe, and I'll read this to you because this is the most up-to-date update. This is a little redundant. I apologize, but the latest breaking news on this story. This is titled "New Hampshire ex-GOP leader apologizes in resignation letter." So if you haven't heard this story yet, you know something good's coming because it involves an actual resignation letter. Former Republican Majority Leader D.J. Betancourt has apologized in his resignation letter for what he calls, quote, the inexcusable lapse in judgment and integrity, unquote, that forced him to step down earlier this week.
Now, see, that sounds juicy. That's a juicy first paragraph.
Yes,
At least he admitted
yes.
it. At least he admitted it.
Yes, yes.
Finally.
That's true, yes.
Took him long enough.
Betancourt resigned Sunday after admitting he misrepresented the amount of work he performed for another lawmaker during a law school internship, but only after the lawmaker, Representative Brandon Guida, went public with the allegations. 2 days earlier, Betancourt issued a statement saying he would resign at the end of the legislative session, June 6th, which is 1 week from today, in part because he was about to get married and start a new job.
Whoopee.
At the start of Wednesday's House session, the clerk read Betancourt's resignation letter, which included apologies to his peers, constituents, and family. Betancourt was not present.
Oh,
So who made the apology?
Well, he
somebody
made
read it on
In a letter.
Steve
Right,
Valancourt
yes.
read it on his behalf.
that would be great. Yes, threw in some inflammatory German words just to spice it up.
The Fuhrer has resigned.
But the wrong one. That wouldn't be his choice.
I know that he wants the speaker to leave.
Speaker to leave.
Betancourt wrote in his letter, quote, "It is among my many regrets that through my own fault I cannot express my thanks and say farewell to you all in person. I want the House to know that I am sorry for inexcusable lapse in judgment and integrity. We are citizen legislators. Our obligations as legislators never relieve us of our obligations as citizens. I have breached those citizen obligations, and I stand ready for the consequences," unquote. Betancourt, who's 28, also apologized to the law school, saying it had offered him the opportunity to learn and be part of an honorable profession. He said, quote, "But that profession comes with high expectations that my actions demonstrate I am not yet ready to meet. I can only hope that one day I will be worthy of it," unquote. I don't know what law firm's going to hire him now, but according to Guida, Betancourt submitted records to the University of New Hampshire School of Law indicating he had completed a semester-long legal internship at Guida's office, despite working there for only 1 hour. Ooh, that's a bit of a discrepancy. Guida complained to House Speaker William O'Brien, who met with both Betancourt and Guida on Friday and agreed that Betancourt would resign at the end of the session, citing personal problems. When Betancourt made no mention of personal problems in his initial announcement, Guida threatened to make the law school records public unless Betancourt resigned immediately.
A little blackmail going on.
Yes. Scandalous. O'Brien said Tuesday that Betancourt's actions were unacceptable, though he stopped short of saying that he would have blown the whistle had Guida not come forward. House Democrats on Wednesday wrote to O'Brien demanding that he explain why he didn't request Betancourt's resignation immediately and why he supported allowing Betancourt to resign without admitting wrongdoing.
Cover up?
And they wrote in the letter, quote, "The people of New Hampshire deserve answers to legitimate questions. Questions asked not only by the minority in this body, but by the media, by members of the Republican caucus, and members of the public," unquote. And that's the end of the article.
Now, if I recall correctly, I don't think it was in this article, that the job that he was supposed to start at around the same time he was going to get married, they have now decided they were not going to hire him.
Right. Well, the thing is,
I understand. Do you?
what law firm is going to hire him now?
Right.
I mean, you know.
Also, and he was
we scroll
also
down?
on over 11 times running for governor on the GOP side. He was on his committee, and he's no longer on that committee as well.
That is
And I can
correct.
understand that as well.
Mhm.
Why would you want to associate with someone that's blackened his name? He'll blacken yours as well.
Well, we don't need to bring race into it. Glenn.
Exactly.
It's not racial.
I'm kidding. But so I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel badly for the guy in one sense. I mean, he's made a terrible mistake that has huge ramifications. You know, it's not like when at the federal level, when someone gets in trouble and they have to resign, they usually either become a lobbyist or they get their own show on Fox.
You betcha.
Or MSNBC, really. I mean, depending on which way they go politically. But
He's smart enough, he might.
I don't know. I mean, DJ, you know, we had him as a guest on Rock Paper Hand Grenades. He's a charismatic guy. You know,
Yeah.
I hope he finds something. But I don't know. I mean, can you imagine? You know, you put all that time and effort and money, and you go to law school, and then at the end of it, you blow it like that.
Hopefully, he's learned his lesson for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And in time, it will forgive him.
Yes, yes. Rose to power at a very young age to become such a powerful person in
Yes.
the New Hampshire legislature at only 28
years
years
old.
old.
And
Yeah.
that in itself questions, you know, there wasn't that much experience there. Maybe, you know, he's smart. I don't question that. But
Mhm.
again, you can tell that he really wasn't ready to do that type of leadership job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gary Hopper, my co-host on Rock Paper Hand Grenades, have been upset with Betancourt over the gay marriage thing because I remember, and I'm not divulging anything. This was discussed on Rock Paper Hand Grenades, but this was after I almost said Nuno, after DJ had been on the show, confusing my Betancourts. Gary had been upset because Gary was really pushing for the repeal of gay marriage in New Hampshire after it had been on the books for 2 years. It's something that Gary and I very much disagree on, but he felt that the Republican leadership did not do a good enough job pushing for the repeal, and I remember him talking about a phone call that he made to DJ because DJ really didn't want anything to do with repealing it, and I guess it sounded like there was some friction there between the two of them regarding that. But anyway, so that's it for DJ Betancourt. He has completely resigned from the New Hampshire State House. So
The
John,
door of friction has been shut down.
that's right. So I think John Heichel owes him 2 beers.
Mm-hmm.
2? Why?
I just don't think 1 is enough.
No.
You know,
In this situation.
one to say thank you for taking the
2
heat off
beers and a
me.
lap dance
Yes,
from an 80-year-old stripper.
that's right. John Heichel owes him 2 beers and a lap dance from an 80-year-old stripper. Where can we find one of those?
I don't know. Ask John. He's probably listening.
Probably. Hopefully he's having a good laugh.
I hope so, too.
Hopefully he's not
We
thinking
don't
of.
mean anything by it, John.
Hopefully he's
No,
not thinking
no.
of murdering us.
Wish you all the best of luck, people that are running for candidate. For
Well,
us.
he knows our collective sense of humor by now. I would hope.
We're very sick sons of bitches.
And what did you guys think of Phil Griazzo?
I thought he was great.
He's a smooth character though, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Are
Yes,
you
he is.
saying that he is a little bit full of himself?
No, he's
Not
just he's very slick.
Okay.
It's not. I like the guy. It's not meant
He has a good
in a
personality.
pejorative way.
No question about that.
Absolutely.
Doesn't smile much. Not much of a
No.
smiler. He's a very serious
You
man.
can be liked and not die. You don't see me smile much.
A lot of the things he
That's
stands
true.
Serious
for are
person.
Yes, you're usually scowling. But
some of the things he stands for are very independent driven.
yes, yes,
Not completely on the GOP side, on the conservative side, and
right.
Isn't he also a libertarian?
Yes. Well, he
He doesn't claim that so much, though.
he resisted that when
Yeah.
I brought that up, but he seems to
Playing
be,
it cool.
yes. I think he's a free stater.
Somebody called me today in his ward and asked who the alderman was in that ward. I said, it's Bill Grazio, Ward 10. And the question was, is he a Republican or a Democrat? I said, at this time it shouldn't matter. Why wouldn't it matter? Because he's already elected. He represents all the people in that ward. So call him.
Yes. Well,
That really bugs me when people finally get, and this had nothing to do with Phil, but when people are elected to an office and then the opposite party says, well, I ain't going to call him. He doesn't belong to my party. It doesn't matter. You're elected. They're supposed to work for all the constituents in that area.
Yes, yes. Well, I thought this was funny. Shall we move on to something a bit more national?
Sure.
I went to HuffingtonPost.com today, and the lead story is titled, "For Fox's Sake." Fox News airs ridiculous anti-Obama video, could double as a GOP ad, and then throws the associate producer of the video under the bus.
Naturally.
This is... sorry, just clicking over to the article itself because I want to read this to everyone. Let's see. This was about something that ran on Fox and Friends. Fox and Friends aired a remarkable 4-minute video on its Wednesday show. The video, which the hosts of the show advertised as taking a look back, a fair and balanced look back, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Supposedly.
A look back at President Obama's 4 years in office, which could easily have been mistaken for a Republican attack ad. It was aired multiple times throughout the show. And update, Fox News later issued a statement disavowing the ad and attributing it to an associate producer.
Somebody must have called him.
Yes.
Yeah.
We decided to take a look at the president's first term to see if it lived up to hope and change, host Gretchen Carlson asked at one point, introducing the video. In the video, which is labeled as a Fox and Friends Presents production, viewers see images of Obama talking about jobs contrasted with footage of homeless people. There is dark, foreboding music and statistics about the unemployment rate, the rise in the number of food stamps, and the national debt, among other things. The hosts heaped lavish praise on the producer of the video, saying that it had taken, quote, a tremendous amount of research, unquote, to put together.
Tremendous amount.
Yes. Some media critics were outraged by the video. The Baltimore Sun's David Zurwick denounced it, calling it reminiscent of 1930s propaganda.
1930s.
I guess this is from him. As the guy who challenged the Obama administration 2 years ago when it tried to deny Fox News access to interviews and other opportunities offered to the media on the grounds that Fox was not a legitimate news operation, I have to tell you, even I am shocked by how blatantly Fox is throwing off any pretense of being a journalistic entity with videos like this. Don't be fooled by Brett Baer's Boy Scout smile or all the talk about how some shows are news and some are opinion on the channel. Any news organization that puts up this kind of video is rotten to the core. So that's from David Zurwick from the Baltimore Sun. Conservative commentators also expressed discomfort with the video. Now, this is interesting because if you're a member of the conservative media, whether it's as part of Fox or conservative talk radio, you're supposed to march in lockstep with everything that Fox does or that Rush Limbaugh says. You're not supposed to ever question anything ever. Obama is, a terrorist Kenyan secretly in league with Al-Qaeda and all that. You're supposed to just believe all that.
Excuse me.
So this is interesting. So conservative commentators also expressed discomfort with the video. Hot Air's Ed Morrissey said that it didn't seem like something a news organization should be producing. And this is what he said. I know the initial response will be that other news organizations offer biased perspectives and hagiographies of Obama, that's a word I'm not familiar with, I'm not sure I'm saying it right, of Obama that go well beyond a single video, and that response is entirely valid. However, we usually criticize that kind of behavior with other news organizations too. If anyone wanted to look for evidence that the overall Fox News organization intends to campaign against Obama rather than cover the campaign, this video will be difficult to refute as evidence of that claim. So that's coming from this guy, Ed Morrissey, who is a conservative. And then another update. Bill Shine, the executive vice president for programming at Fox News, issued a statement about the video on Wednesday afternoon. He said, quote, the package that aired on Fox and Friends was created by an associate producer and was not authorized at the senior executive level of the network.
Bullshit.
This has been addressed with the show's producers. Chris has a cough. I think he might be coming down with something. I'm very concerned. Fox News later confirmed that the video had been removed from both its main website and the network's aggregation site, foxnation.com. So I look forward to finding it later on YouTube and watching it.
I look forward to the program I listen to every morning, which is the Stephanie Miller Show. Looking forward to them tearing this apart.
Yes.
Do you know what I don't understand is that when the recession first started, it was under the Bush administration.
Mm-hmm.
Now, come on, people. Do you really, really believe that the food stamps percentage started increasing only when Obama came to office? That doesn't make sense.
It's because he's black.
Well, whatever. I mean, I love how the parties, sometimes it happens on both sides of the fence, where they come out
right here.
they come out with a topic, and they blame a certain party, and they would never do that. But if you look at the facts, they were actually doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's out of your control. When you're in a recession, people are hurting, and so you're going to need to help them a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to think that this is the food stamp president, as long as if we had food stamps in this country, every president could be called a food stamp president.
That was Gingrich's line, yes. Yep. Now, I will say this. I'll defend Gingrich on that a little bit. If what he's saying is that there are more people receiving food stamps under Obama, well, maybe that's statistically true. People tried to say that was a racist comment. I disagree. I don't think that has anything to do with race. So I'll defend Gingrich on that. But, what do you think, Chris? You think...
It's I don't know. In my mind, it seems like it has racial undertones, seeing as most Americans consider food stamps to be sort of a minority perk.
Which is
but granted, it's not true because a lot of white Americans who are on welfare are on food stamps as well.
Right, exactly.
And a lot of bordering middle class, when they're in trouble, they end up qualifying. I mean, there is a process. You just can't get food stamps. There is a process.
Right.
I wasn't giggling because I was disagreeing with you. I was giggling at something I had heard the other day that just made me laugh my ass off.
Oh. Now, they were saying on MSNBC at night on one of their programs, they were taking what Rick Perry and Gingrich and even Rick Santorum, how on the issues when they were campaigning against Mitt Romney in the primaries, how they stuck it to him on the facts, and now it's all behind us now, and we're going to support him. But do you still support him on that issue? That was never an issue, but it was.
Right.
And these were your quotes.
Well, yeah. I'll give Gingrich credit though on something. What's that?
Frankly.
Frankly?
That's what he says all the time.
Oh, he does say that a lot, yes.
Frankly.
It's actually a good impression of him. Gingrich, obviously this is, what happens is during the primary, whether it's on either side, whatever year it is, I mean, this is the process. You have all these people running for the nomination of their party, so they attack each other. And then once you have a nominee, everyone has to get in line and, fall in line, I should say, and say, oh, we support our nominee and whatnot, and pretend that nothing
ever happened.
Nothing ever happened. Gingrich isn't really doing it that way, though. He's not really playing it that way. He's actually being, to his credit, he's actually being kind of honest about it and saying...
Somewhat, yes.
He's reached that age where he just doesn't care anymore.
I think so, yeah. Because he's...
Cards on the table here.
Because what I've literally heard him say now is when asked about supporting Romney... Now, after all the terrible things he said about Romney, and obviously some of the bad blood between them that developed over the course of the primary, he's saying, well, look, if it's a choice between Obama and Romney, you got to go Romney. Romney's the guy. He's not really saying...
He's not convincing himself. He's just saying it.
Yeah, but I think he really does believe that Romney is the guy if it's Romney versus Obama. But I'm just saying, but he's not trying to cleverly sort of spin it as... Well, I wasn't really attacking him on this. My words have been taken out of context. I just meant this, but I can see how from Mitt Romney's perspective, what he did wasn't a problem. He's not doing any of that. He's not trying to play any kind of BS game with it. He's just saying, look, I think I would have been the better candidate, but Romney's the guy, and I support Romney over Obama.
You also have to realize that Gingrich, like Mitt Romney, even more than Mitt Romney, he's been in politics even longer, and was a leader, Speaker of the House at one time.
Yes.
And they kind of threw him out.
Yes.
And so there are people in his own party that don't like him anyway. As well as there are a lot of people in the GOP party, the Republican Party, that does not like Gingrich. I mean Romney, but that's their choice now, and they don't have to, they have to live with it.
Right. Well, it's like Chris Matthews says, Republicans, they don't fall in love, they fall in line.
They fall in line.
They got to fall in line behind their candidate.
And they stick together.
Yes.
I wonder if you take a survey, if you found out, but are there more Republicans that are divorced than there are Democrats? If you fall in line instead of fall in love.
Oh, good question. Good question. I don't know.
Just trying to be
The
sarcastic.
Republicans love traditional marriage, whether it be their first marriage, their second marriage. They do
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
And I will never understand how anybody, no matter what party you belong to, can say that gay marriage will ruin society. Look at the facts in straight marriages. 53% of divorces within 5 to 7 years.
Mhm.
What does it have to do with the other side? Nothing at all.
Right.
Or they'll
I-
they're against abortion. I'm against abortion. I'm not trying to defend them, but they're against abortion. And when it comes to adopt, they go outside the country to adopt instead of
Right.
adopting the kids that we have right here in this country that need to be adopted.
Nobody
Right.
is for abortion.
it's
Nobody
hip-
is
No, of course not.
pro-abortion.
But they're hypocritical. A lot of them are hypocritical. You can't say one thing and do another, and this is exactly
Yep.
what a lot of people say. And that happens on both sides of the party.
You have to be
Yeah,
a rich,
absolutely.
I
white,
just-
straight family.
I just
to
love being an
adopt.
independent because you can
Yes.
say that and mean it.
Well, that's true. Well, both parties are fundamentally corrupt and evil.
Mhm. Just one more so than the other, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if it matters at
Democrats.
I don't know if it matters at the federal level. I think. I mean, it's all it's all bought and paid for by, well, the special interest groups and lobbyists and so forth. But in some cases, both parties are controlled by the same lobbies. You know, Big Pharma certainly owns both parties.
Oil
Absolutely.
companies.
Big Oil owns
Yeah.
both parties. Yeah, you know, because I know some people think of it in terms of, well,
Wall Street
certain
Journal.
industries owns certain parties, and actually, you know, people tend to, I think, associate Wall Street with
It's
Republicans,
both.
but it certainly is both.
Big money in both.
Absolutely, and you know, historically, Wall Street actually performs better when a Democrat is in the White House, which leads me to think that maybe they own even more of the Democrats than the Republicans, because the Obama administration clearly is very tight with Wall Street.
Yes.
Which is probably why they won't go near the Occupy movement, even though in theory there's some
They don't like them.
there's some linkage in ideology there, but
Yeah.
they really want to keep them at arm's length,
Yeah. They were saying in Democracy Now! This morning that
which you can watch here on IPMNation.com, by the way, and on the QCE news channel on IPMNation.com.
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead.
I lost my train of thought.
I just want to make sure people knew that. This morning on Democracy Now!
This morning on Democracy Now! They I forget.
I didn't mean to derail
It's
you.
okay.
I feel bad now.
No, I don't feel bad.
It's probably something great, too.
He'll come back.
I hope so. I hope so. I feel as though
So let's move on.
something profound is
Move on.
You know, I was
Lost.
told today,
MoveOn.org.
why would we, as an organization, QCE News or IPM Nation,
The three of us.
consider, going to Boston, Providence, maybe New York, Maine, all these, Hampton Beach, when we can do our show right here? And it's not that they don't understand that we're global. It's
I'm
that
asking you that question all the time.
they would rather that we stay home because we're successful. And we're doing
Yes.
it on a dime.
And on top
Literally.
of that,
Literally on a dime.
Literally, we have 10 cents to our name right now.
not only that, Glenn, I don't know if you're aware, but Donald Trump is in the chat room and he wants to see your birth certificate.
Well, he can see it, but he's not going to accept
That's
it.
funny. Mitt Romney showed his short form birth certificate,
He
even
won't
though
give you
his
his
father was
long-term.
born in Mexico.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But will accept the fact that he's an American.
that's right. Well, he was born in Michigan, no question about that, but that's not
Right.
the point.
I'm questioning it.
You are, huh?
I think he was born in Mexico, and
He could have been. It could
maybe
be a
he's an anchor
conspiracy.
baby. I think he's an anchor baby.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, Willard.
Where's the hook on that?
Or the line and sinker.
You're in a timeout for 2 minutes.
Really? Those things
Uh-huh.
don't count anymore. Not at my age.
What do you guys think of? What are we even talking about?
Oh my God! You lost your train of thought too.
No, I don't.
certificates.
I never made it onto the train. Okay, yeah. So, what do you guys think of? What is the end game here with? What is the to use the George Will analogy? What is the cost benefit analysis of Romney getting so close to Trump?
Well, he did it only for one reason.
Celebrity?
No.
It's not
Money.
play on the
He wants to be
Celebrity
on the
Apprentice.
Apprentice.
Remember that the money isn't going to his campaign. Trump and 6 other rich billionaires or millionaires are going to get together and put millions of dollars into a, what do they call that? A PAC?
Mm-hmm.
Super PAC.
Super PAC, and create these commercials so that they won't be able to blame the candidate. Well, the Democrats are doing that too. But the point is
Yes.
that's what they're doing. And he said, I need that, but that way they can put things that I will never say, but let them say it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can tell the public, well, I didn't say that. They made the commercial. I didn't. It didn't say approved by me.
But do you think that Romney damages himself by doing this fundraiser
You
with
would
Trump?
think so. You would think
Because
so.
because it gives people
I
the
don't know.
impression that
People are
Romney is in
strange.
bed with the birthers, basically, because Trump is a birther.
Although he did say, not during that press conference, but before the press conference when he was asked that question, that I really believe that Obama was born in America, preferably in Hawaii. Well, we know that's where it happened.
Yes,
So he
preferably,
is
presumably.
he is being careful, but it's the money. It's all these millions of money that he needs. He needs to have somebody else put in the millions, because if they don't, he doesn't have the company. Obama's got a lot more money than he does,
Mm-hmm.
and so whatever happened to
Obama's
our
got a lot more supporters.
Yeah.
Celebrity supporters. And
so whatever
quite a
happened
few
to our
billionaires.
democracy, where we used to give $1, we still give $1 if you want to
On
at
your
a tax
tax
time.
return. Yep.
And now the candidates aren't taking that money. So where's that money going? Good question, huh? It used to
Comcast.
go to the candidates.
Comcast.
I don't blame Comcast.
It's a little inside, folks. Sorry, but
Yeah, it's the Manchester inside.
but you don't think it does Romney more harm than good in the long run to be in?
Well, it
so
doesn't
close to
destroy him, but you would think that there's no
It
balance
depends.
there.
I mean, if you don't look at the actual value of the man that is Donald Trump, and that's moral value and
Remember, Donald Trump
the
has
actual
gone
dollar
bankrupt
value. If
several
you just
times.
look at the celebrity that is Donald Trump, then you think, okay, here's a big name. He's got a decent show on NBC, and yeah, he's a billionaire investor and tycoon.
Mhm.
But if you actually look at the man himself, which most voters, or maybe what they're banking on is most voters aren't going to look into that. They're
you
just
know-
going to see the face and the hair.
Trump is a lot like Mitt Romney. How did Trump make his money?
But you can't.
How many times did Trump go bankrupt? And he's
Yeah.
still a billionaire today. It's the same thing as,
Right.
as Mitt Romney. How did he make his money? Through Bain that made sure that people lost their jobs so they could make money.
Yep. They bet on those jobs failing,
But
or
according
they saved to dime
according
by
to
sending
Mitt
the
Romney's
jobs
campaign,
overseas.
that's right. According to Mitt Romney's campaign, though, it's not fair shake for the Democratic Party to use that.
And they cannot be on opposite ends of the hair spectrum
And
either.
they're getting close to be hugging each other, aren't they?
Yeah, and the story from Huffington Post by
You
John
see
Ward, it says
a homosexual vibe there.
probably Donald Trump can't be. Well, it says, oh, sorry, trying to scroll back up here. Donald Trump can't be controlled, causes major headache for Mitt Romney. They do look like lovers in that photo, Glenn. It's interesting that you
Well, they
notice that.
certainly look stiff.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there's no love lost here. Look at that. I mean, they're doing it for a reason.
Right, they're trying to get the gay vote.
Again, like you said, they don't fall in love; they fall in line.
Right.
They're falling in line.
Right.
It's a good quote.
It's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Do you think that maybe Romney's afraid of Trump? That if
Oh,
Romney
absolutely.
rebuffs him, what will Trump do? Will he then run third party?
If he's afraid of Trump, that's a good question, because he at one
Will
point
he
talked
endorse?
about.
Will he endorse the
Yeah.
third party? Will he run for
Right,
it?
he had thought about maybe running at one point as a third party, but that's a good point. But you got to realize that if Mitt Romney's afraid of Donald Trump, then that means he's afraid of Rich Lombard.
Who's Rich Lombard?
What do you call him?
Oh, Rush Limbaugh?
Rush Limbaugh.
Yes. Oh, they're all terrified of Rush Limbaugh.
Yep.
And then who's the third one? There's a third one.
Roger Ailes.
No, I thought it was the owners of Fox.
Roger Ailes.
Oh, okay, that's Roger Ailes.
Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert
I think is who
Murdoch.
you're thinking
That's
of.
it, Rupert
Yes.
Murdoch. Now, I really think that Romney's going to pick. I'm not sure enough in my mind to bet on it, but I'm pretty certain that a good 75% of a chance right now he's going to pick the junior Republican. Is he a House rep or a senator from Florida? The Latino.
Rubio? Mark
Marco
Rubio?
Marco Rubio. Is he a senator or is he a House rep? In the
Senator,
Congress?
isn't
I think
he?
it's Senator Rubio.
Senator.
Yeah, yeah.
I really think he's going to pick him. and but according to the Latino polls, it's not really going to advance it.
No. You don't think Rubio's too young?
He's not. I have to wonder about his qualifications, maybe.
Right.
And who am I to say that? But because he is young. But according to the law, he's old enough.
Right.
Can he see Russia from his house? Because apparently that's a qualification.
Well, it was for Miss.
Yeah, I can see Russia from my house.
Well, she must have good eyes.
I believe in strong
Eagle
family
eyes.
values. Ignore the fact that my daughter is pregnant and not married, but I believe in strong family values.
Yeah, that's something else about some of these party people. Is they have these strong morals, and they blame people who break their morals, and then look at their own backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, where are your morals? You talk about morals? Who are you to talk about morals? You've been divorced how many times?
Hypocrisy.
You have
But-
illegitimate children? Excuse me.
Getting back to Marco Rubio, I mean, certainly that's the smart idea in order to increase the chance of getting the Latino voters. Absolutely. It's
And it
better
would
than going with
guarantee
Kelly.
Florida.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well,
they think.
It's better
I don't know.
than,
It's
than
not
someone like
guaranteed.
Kelly Ayotte,
It's a
who
lot-
she wants it, but it's not going to happen
That will
because
never
he doesn't need New Hampshire.
That's
Too
right.
north.
Well, he does, but it's too
Yeah.
close, and he'd lose other important states like Ohio. And there are 7 states that are on the border, that are on the line, and that's how the election's going to be called.
Swing states,
Yeah, and you have to make sure when you pick your vice president that it's someone that, like, if it's New Hampshire, that's both in the Northeast, people out west or Midwest may say we don't want, or the South. Well, why are they picking everybody from the same area of the country?
Mhm.
So they have to be careful. Because really, where is Mitt Romney from?
Yeah, he has no less than 4 home
Massachusetts,
states.
Michigan, Utah,
New Hampshire.
New
He's got
Hampshire.
property in New
He's
Hampshire.
he's got a home in California now. So which state does he claim? I have to
The
wonder.
one that will vote for him.
Right.
Yeah, but when you run for president, you can't claim for all 4 or 5 states.
You can.
You can't.
You most certainly can.
You signed on the dotted
you
line
bet your
that
ass he will when he's out
Well, he won't.
campaigning.
Well,
but
I mean, he was governor of Massachusetts, but he won't. He has no chance of winning Massachusetts. That's very much a blue state. So he can't claim Massachusetts.
Yes,
so
and
he
I'm
has to
remember-
hoping
claim-
my Massachusetts
When
people will
he-
not make the same
when he
mistake
was
twice.
governor-
Vote
No.
for him a second time.
When he
No.
was governor, the state of Massachusetts was 47
In
states
employment.
in employment. 47 out of 50.
Right.
And Massachusetts is not a small state. It's well over 5 million people.
Doesn't matter, Glenn. He understands the economy. He
It's
knows
a-
how to create
it's a
jobs.
Well,
major-
that way he doesn't.
No, just ask him.
Well,
Yeah,
his
just-
answer would be, well, we were in a recession
Just
then.
the
Oh, we were?
Indians who got those jobs.
So you couldn't fix the recession in Massachusetts, and you're going to fix the one in this country. I like that idea.
Yes.
Yeah, you've become wise all of a sudden, haven't you? The rich will have bigger taxes, less taxes to pay, and the middle income and poor will pay more taxes, and they will lose the services.
Right. There will be no more middle class.
Right.
That's the aim. I say sometimes that it's actually the aim of the GOP anyway. They say no, but look at their record.
Right.
It's become in this country that you're either if you're middle class now, which that barely exists now. If you're a
Right.
middle class person, you're either going to get richer or poorer, and they're more than they're getting poorer than richer,
hmm
and that's exactly how they like it.
Well, they don't care. I mean, in terms of the poor, they don't care about the poor because poor people don't vote Republican.
But they claim that they have a safeguard on the poor. Don't worry about the poor, Mitt Romney once said. His quote was, "Don't worry about the poor. We have a safeguard. That'll never happen." Where is that safeguard?
Oh, the safety web?
Yeah, where is it?
Safety web.
I'd love to know where it is.
Safety net. Safety web.
Safety net.
It's okay for you to say that, but where is it?
Spider-Man. Safety web.
But anyway, yeah, he can't claim Massachusetts. Can he claim Michigan? I saw a poll last night. Michigan, Obama's 13 points ahead.
Really?
It's
Yep.
because
Excellent.
it's because of the auto. Remember, according to Mitt Romney,
And remember, Romney
Barack
did when
did
he...
exactly what Mitt wanted him to do. Although Mitt did not want the president to give them the loan, which was a loan,
Right?
and they're paying it back. It
Yes.
saved the industry. It worked. Because it worked, Mitt says he did exactly what I wanted him to do. But if it wouldn't have worked, what would he be saying? I told him it wasn't going to work.
Right. Right.
I told you should have gone bankrupt.
I don't.
Because he is only familiar with that one aspect of bankruptcy, is letting it fail so that he can reap the money by selling off the equipment, selling it all off,
Right.
let it go bankrupt. What he doesn't think about is the actual auto worker that is affected.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not his mentality. It's
Right.
to think of the
That's
people.
right.
It's to
That's
think
right.
of the bottom dollar and when are we
Right.
going to make more money off of. Trying to pay more money, get these union workers to get jobs again, to advertise for Chevy and for GM. Is it going to work? We don't know. But you know what will work? We shut it down. We sell the parts over.
Mhm.
Give the rights over
but
to
you know,
other
That's what
countries.
he knows. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Today, in today's world, since 2000, we know that's been going on in all the presidential campaigns. Without the independent vote, the candidates on either party can't win.
Right.
So when someone like Romney says, the president did exactly what I wanted him to do, which means that he did a good job, but then you were against doing what he did, that's talking through both sides of your mouth, and do you really want to vote
And
for
he's
a
been doing it
candidate?
throughout this entire
I
campaign.
know, but
through the
Romney's-
as an
primaries.
independent
Right,
voter
yeah.
myself, I had to. If I were leaning on either of them, on the fence, and saying I'm very close, that will give it away.
Mhm.
I mean, you're talking to both sides of your mouth.
Right.
You can't be telling me that you approve this, but then you don't.
Romney's the master of that.
Yep, I'm pro-life, but there's pictures of me clearly at pro-choice events in Massachusetts.
Right.
Well, that was for political gains.
Well, this whole thing is political gains. Come on.
Thank you.
It's,
Yeah.
According to him and Ann, it's his turn now.
He just wants to be president.
You sure I didn't
That's
force
it.
that out of you, right?
I want to be president. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because we got about one quarter of the show left. I want to ask you guys about what happened early in the week on Meet the Press. We had Cory Booker, who claims to be a surrogate for the Obama campaign, and this kind of falls under the category, I guess, of with friends like these.
Who needs enemies?
Yes, from Ford Fairlane.
Mhm.
Great movie. I never liked his stand-up comedy, but I like the movie.
Some of it is tolerable.
Yeah.
His stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew Dice Clay, for those who don't know.
Yes.
So Cory Booker goes on Meet the Press and talks about how the president's attacking gain capital and private equity is nauseating, and that he wished that he would not do that. Now, this is an Obama campaign surrogate saying this, and of course some people were horrified by that. Well, how can Cory Booker say that? Cory Booker, for those who don't know, is the mayor of Newark, New Jersey,
Yes.
and a Democrat, and as I said, a surrogate for the Obama campaign. So he kind of surprised everybody by saying that he doesn't like that aspect of how the Obama campaign is running, and called the attacks on private equity nauseating. And then,
It changes my awful quick.
well, not really, because he sort of tried to do a little damage control, but then some other high-profile Democrats kind of jumped on the bandwagon and defended what he said. You had Harold Ford, former senator, Democratic senator from Tennessee, now an MSNBC political analyst, kind of saying, well, Cory Booker has a point. The problem is not private equity. It's not investment. Ed Rendell, former governor of Pennsylvania, also kind of coming out on Cory Booker's side.
Now, Cory Booker, though, you have to realize that after he said that,
Yes.
the Mitt Romney campaign, not necessarily Mitt Romney himself, but his campaign people who had the authority made a commercial and used Cory Booker.
Oh, he handed them a
And
gift.
Cory was
Yeah.
very upset.
Yeah.
How dare you misread what I said? And so all of a sudden
Right.
he said, you know what? He was like, why did you even say it?
Right.
Because it's Mitt Romney all along during the primaries against the other Republican candidates that said, because of the Bain that I worked for, the Bain company, this is what I did. It's fair play when you say it's your record.
Mm-hmm.
You should be running on your record. I don't see him running on the Massachusetts record as governor, do you?
I can't.
No.
Of course he can't.
Um,
And he doesn't want to run on the Bain one either. He says he does, but
Right.
when you start criticizing it, well, not fair
Right.
game.
Now, there's two ways to read this. There's the hopeful, the way that, well, there's two ways for someone like me to read it from my perspective, and I'm curious how you guys see it. But there's the hopeful, optimistic way of reading what happened, this whole kerfuffle, which is my new favorite word. This is the second time I've used it today. The
Kerfuffle.
second
Very
show
good
I've used it on. There's two ways to read it. One is there's a positive aspect to this, because some folks, maybe this is the beginning of, you know how in the Republican Party we've seen this schism. You have the Republicans, the more mainstream Republicans, and then you have the Tea Party, who have really kind of taken control of the Republican Party in some aspects. Maybe, at first I thought maybe this is the beginning of a schism within the Democratic Party, which could be positive in that I mean, you guys know my story. I used to be a Democrat. I had to become an independent because I became a small business owner and an entrepreneur. And the Democratic Party, as the Republican Party has gone too far to the right, I feel the Democratic Party in many ways has gone too far to the left and become more liberal. And a major tenet of liberalism is this sort of anti-capitalistic, sort of anti-business, anti-entrepreneur kind of thing, which I just can't. Because I am a capitalist. I mean, I'm for fair capitalism, not unfair capitalism, which is why I do support the Occupy movement, because there are some major problems within capitalism. But I am ultimately a capitalist, so I couldn't hang with the Democrats anymore. It's not the party of Bill Clinton anymore. Bill Clinton is the guy who is pro-business, who said, I believe at his first State of the Union address, he opened it by saying to the country, to the world, the era of big government is over. Now, I couldn't even imagine a modern Democrat saying something like that. But Bill Clinton was pro-business. He was pro-trade, a pro-capitalism Democrat.
And you also have to realize that when Clinton was in the office, especially his second term, he was the Democratic president. You had a Republican House and a Republican Senate, and they got down to business and did a lot of. They got rid of welfare as we know it. They did a lot of good changes. But today, the House and Senate, even though one's Democrat, barely, but they are the Senate, and then the House is Republican, they are not really working with the president, especially the GOP. Their attitude seems to be, we're going to make sure that he doesn't get a second term. What I never understand is that that's our job. We elect the president, not them.
That's very well said.
I didn't elect my congressman to go out and make sure the president doesn't get in. I elected him to take care of the problems. So you're avoiding the problem so that he won't get his second term. You're losing my vote.
That's very well.
What you're doing.
Very well said, Glenn. You're right. You're right. And Mitch McConnell took a lot of heat for what he said about how that was their number one priority. But the way you said, that's our job.
That's right. They need to grow up.
We make that decision.
We pay them too much money, I think.
Right. Exactly.
No, they pay themselves
That's
too much
right.
money because they can keep giving themselves increases.
Yes.
And they'll never decrease it.
Nope.
There'll always be enough money in the Congress to pay the employees.
Right.
The Congress, I should say.
And when this first happened, when I started to see these people kind of openly disagreeing with Obama, even though they obviously still support him, I thought, well, there may be a positive aspect to this, and that maybe this is a wing of the Democratic Party that's kind of starting to reassert itself. That sort of that Bill Clinton wing that is that wants to say, listen, we don't want to be seen as attacking capitalism and attacking business and attacking entrepreneurs, and we don't want to be seen like that, because then we look like a bunch of socialists and big government socialists, and we don't want to be seen that way. So I thought there may be a positive aspect to this. Now, of course, that's the positive, optimistic, hopeful way of looking at it. Maybe there is hope because I used to be proud to call myself a Democrat, and that's one of the reasons why I had to leave the party, was because they got away from being pro-business. Of course, it doesn't take a lot of research to figure out that my sort of the option of looking at it in a positive, hopeful, optimistic way, well, no, actually that's not the truth, because the reality is, like with anything, follow the money. Why did Cory Booker say what he said? Guess who contributes to his campaigns when he has to run for re-election as mayor in Newark, New Jersey? The financial sector. He's not far from New York City, obviously, in Newark, New Jersey. New York City's right up the road.
Newark Airport.
That's right. So he's very tight with the financial lobby, with so he has to. If he's going to, he has to kind of walk that line. In other words, if he's going to support Obama, he has to do something to kind of say, well, okay, I'm not with this part of it. I'm not going to attack private equity. I'm going to say nice things about Bain Capital, even though a central tenet of Obama's campaign against Romney is to attack Bain Capital. But I'm going to say nice things to just say, okay, well, I don't go along with absolutely everything. I don't agree with this.
And that's exactly to your previous point earlier in the show, where you said that the Wall Street people support in big money. They lobby a lot of both sides of candidates for that simple reason.
Yes.
So that whoever wins, they can't say we took sides. You both got money.
Right.
Now we expect you to.
Exactly. So follow the money. Cory Booker, he's owned. He is owned by Wall Street and owned by private equity. just like everybody else, and the banks own him, and just like they own all these people, he's no different. And by the way, that is not to completely disparage the point that he was making.
No.
Because there was something positive in what he was saying that, look, let's not completely, maybe Obama's overdoing it with his attacks on Bain Capital because he doesn't want to look like he's attacking capitalism as a whole. So there is something positive in what he had to say, from my point of view at least. But look at his motives. Of course, his motives are suspect. He did it out of political expediency, and because ultimately Cory Booker is looking out for Cory Booker.
Yes.
Now, Mitt Romney's also been stating in the last few days that under his administration, if he were to win in November, there would be no more big government. But if you go to the statistics, under the Obama administration, we've lost more federal jobs, federal employees, than any other president. So big government is not as big as it was to begin with. So what's he talking about?
Well,
is he going to lay off more people? He's good at doing that, isn't he?
He likes firing people.
I like to fire people.
Yes.
You're fired.
Well, the thing
is that why he gets along so well with Donald Trump?
Corporations,
probably,
people, my friend.
That's right. That's right.
You think Donald Trump will ever fire Mitt Romney?
Oh, maybe if Romney loses the election, maybe
Then
he'll
they
agree to go
fire
on Celebrity Apprentice.
And fire him.
Yes, that'd be great. That would be that'd be a ratings getter.
Mitt would have to get paid lots of money for doing that.
Yes.
No, they should get the entire Republican field of candidates for Celebrity Apprentice.
Yes.
Now
Get
you're
Michelle
being,
Bachmann, Herman
now
Cain,
you're being
Mitt
biased,
Romney.
though. Now you're being biased.
Oh
Not
no!
fair.
Just
that'd be
imagine
great.
that. Just imagine the
It
task.
would be funny.
It would be.
Herman Cain and Gingrich on a task together.
Well, look at Missouri. They gave all their delegates except one to Ron Paul. Mitt got nothing. And they gave one to Bachmann.
Michelle Bachmann.
Yes, because she's from that state.
And her husband Mark.
It's called respect. And I can understand it, but I loved it when they said all the other, I think there was 50 of them, and so 49 went to Ron Paul, and then Romney got.
But he's clinched it now. After Texas,
That's true.
he has clinched it.
He did hit 1144.
I thought he was never going to get there. What happened?
Yeah, I thought so too. But
Are you sure the
apparently,
numbers are right?
so apparently, the media's claiming he clinched 1144 with winning the Texas primary. But yes, it turns out Ron Paul actually won a couple primaries, and
Yes, he did.
we didn't know about it when it happened.
He got Texas clearly because both Bushes, senior and junior, gave their endorsement. Daddy and W.
Yeah.
Despite Mitt still not calling W by his name, Obama's predecessor.
Isn't that something? Like father, like son? But yeah, isn't that something how you're...
Yeah, even HW doesn't call him
the guy
son.
endorses him, and he can't even say his name. It's Obama's predecessor.
Yep.
Are you telling me that he was just as bad as Obama then? You're kind of indicating that, are you not?
Well, he
How
did
can you
help.
say-
He certainly
he started it.
he certainly
We went from a
directed the
surplus
economy.
to a deficit.
Yeah.
So they can say what they want. It happened
Well,
on W. Bush's watch.
war is expensive.
Yes.
And
Especially when you
if
create
you're gonna-
one that wasn't even needed.
If you're going to fight 2 wars and cut taxes, that's what's going to happen.
And who makes money when there's wars? The
Well,
big contractors.
Halliburton certainly
Yes.
has done well.
Yes. And who are they friends of?
Dick Cheney.
And the president.
Follow the money.
Big oil.
Always follow the money.
Yes.
Big oil, yeah.
I was I know we only have a few minutes left, but on my Express edition of Matt Connarton Unleashed, which went up today, episode 63 of the 30-minute podcast, I talked about Memorial Day. And I actually wasn't going to get into this, but because you mentioned these wars that we shouldn't even be fighting, one of the things that makes me really sad on Memorial Day is when I think about, obviously it's a time to reflect and pay respects to the fallen soldiers who have fought for our country and whatnot. But what makes me especially sad is when I think about all the fallen soldiers who have died under the guise of fighting for this country, but have really fought to do things like liberate Iraq and to go into Afghanistan, which I now believe was a mistake, as do most Americans if you look at polls, or the tens of thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands. The numbers are staggering of soldiers that this country sent to Vietnam to fight in a failed attempt to fight communism there, and in a war that dragged on for 10 years.
And how can the Republicans today, after they scolded ferociously our President Obama for going into Libya, even though there was no manpower. It was all planes.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, well, why isn't he going into Syria? They're slaughtering their people. Excuse me? You were against him going to Libya. There's no difference there.
There's nothing that this president can do that
can be right.
is right.
Right. It's gotten to that point in American politics
It's sad.
Where
it's sad when government governs like that.
Yep.
Yes.
Wait till November when he's reelected. That's my prediction.
Yeah. But
and I hope we get the.
If that happens, will he bring along enough of his party candidates to that he'll be able to actually not rule but delegate? I mean, right now his hands are tied. Both parties are tying his hands. The president can't do much right now because the bills aren't there.
You know, the reality is the president can't do much anyway.
That's true.
If you really think about it,
they blame him for a lot of stuff.
In terms of
no matter what party
in terms of domestic policy, the president of the United States has very little actual power.
Yeah.
He can do a few things by executive order. The president does not make laws. The president does not spend money.
Yes.
No.
Congress writes the checks. The president actually, and this is something that 99% of Americans will not accept, I understand, but it's the truth, so I'm going to say it. I don't think the president has much to do with the economy itself.
No. In fact, it's funny because when gas went up, they blamed Obama.
Right.
Yep.
Gas is not coming down. Are they praising him for it?
Nope.
No.
Not his concern.
Well, gas prices are a perfect example of how we've gotten to this point in this country where everyone sees absolutely everything through their own ideological prism, and there is zero objective reality at all. If you're a Republican, you look at Obama and say, look what a terrible job he's doing. Gas prices are way up. And if you're a Democrat, you say, well, wait a minute, it's not Obama's fault. On the flip side, when Bush was in office, if you're a Republican, you looked at Bush and said, well, obviously it's not his fault gas prices are way up. And if you're a Democrat, you had to look at Bush and say, well, Bush is doing a terrible job. Look at how high gas prices are.
They both play to their own favor.
Yes, gas prices are the perfect example of how no one wants to think anymore. Everyone is, like, if you're a member of either party, it's like they embrace this it's like they're just these mindless automatons. If you're a Republican, it's all, oh, Republicans do everything right, and Democrats are all evil socialists who
why do the
want to ruin the
American
country.
people buy it?
And it's the flip side. Because people are stupid and they like everything simple.
Come on, it's not reality.
So people embrace these just incredibly oversimplified.
Without hearing the facts.
No one wants to think anymore. The president does not control the economy. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter that much. Foreign policy, yes, the president is the leader of the free world. The president
pretty well.
The president does control. I mean, we don't even declare war anymore if the president, whoever it is, decides he wants to go to war. So foreign policy, yes. It's kind of tough to pick on Obama on his foreign policy. I think he's done a decent job.
Absolutely.
You can nitpick stupid things like, I mean, I'm sorry, I think Republicans look really, really stupid when they look at how Obama handled Libya and they say, oh, well, he was leading from behind. Leading from behind? No, bullshit. He played it smart and it worked.
Yep.
But if you're a Republican, you can't give Obama credit for anything under any circumstances ever. And I'm not trying to sound partisan here because I'm an independent, because it was the same thing when Bush was president. Yeah. There were things I agreed with and disagreed with about Bush. I didn't vote for him. I think he was a horrible president, but I could find some things to agree with him on, like his immigration policy, which was actually pretty liberal. But there were Democrats who would, it was the same thing. Democrats wouldn't give the guy credit for anything ever. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's my end of show rant. It's 8:59 p.m. Eastern time.
Wow.
I guess we'll wrap up. We're ending right on time.
Wrap it up.
I do want to remind everybody, this show will not be on next week. There will be no television edition of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Going to take next Wednesday off, but we'll be back the following Wednesday. However, next Thursday, 1 week from tomorrow, I will be on Glenn's Thursday afternoon show. We'll let it large Glenn Global.
It's global
at TV23.
On TV23.
And
he might sing and dance. We'll see.
I might.
You might.
I might. He might not.
Yeah, you're going to have to get me drunk.
I don't think so. You don't drink much.
And I don't think that's allowed there.
And I wouldn't allow it anyway. Not on my show.
What about Norm and I are looking into mud wrestling on our show. Do you think they'll allow that?
I asked for a mat. Mm-hmm. A blue mat.
And you're getting a mat.
No, but a blue mat. So that we could get teenagers to come in who do karate in that. Mm-hmm. Not supposed to have kids on that station. And Matt can't have that in that station. Oh, come
I
on.
think the state was very clear that children should not be around you. Sorry.
Who has the criminal record?
So who has his identification?
Oh.
For political reasons only, not because of a crime.
Hey, by the way.
That is true. Yeah.
But
We talk about this every Friday. Poor Glenn.
by the way, when they tell you no kids, they're full of BS because Gary and I had
I know.
we had the Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts or whatever they are come on rock paper hand grenades.
I brought last week.
Again, I think this is
Two-
politics with TV
of course.
23 and Glenn.
Yeah.
I brought two acoustic guitars with two young men, the one we had here,
Mhm.
to play. And they told me in advance that I said they may both show up, and they said, well, we can give them 2 chairs, only give them 1 mic and 1 stand. I said, I'll live with it. When I get there, it was a big fiasco. Like, well, how dare you bring 2 acoustic guitars? You're going to wake up the neighborhood. Acoustic guitar.
Wake up the neighborhood.
You know,
Weird.
real weird.
That's strange.
Yeah.
And plus, they don't like the idea that I take 15 minutes of my We'll Let It Logical and Global on Fridays of some of the concerts,
Mhm.
and I divide it into a DVD, and I play it over there. And say, what are you doing? It's my show. I can do what I want. The band's not here.
Right.
It's already pre-done.
Right. Exactly.
I love it.
Glenn, before we wrap up, do you want to remind us about Friday
This
night?
Friday, if everything goes well, there's a 99% chance we're going to be live. Yeah, keep your fingers crossed.
Keeping my fingers
There's
crossed.
a 99% chance we're going to be live out of
Hampton Beach.
Hampton Beach at the Seashell Stage. Why did they call it that? It makes sense, I guess. Though.
It's on a beach.
It's on a beach,
It's
seashell.
in the shape of a seashell.
And
The
actually,
old one was. I don't see the new one. Is the new one shaped like that?
The new one has that hat shell
It still
shape.
has. Okay.
Yes.
Is it bigger than the other one?
I'd say probably about the same size,
Same.
actually, but much modernized, much more modernized than it was.
I bet you the sound system's probably better too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard that if you lie down on the stage and put your ear to the floor, you can hear the ocean.
You can, but that's probably
Is it
because
built
it's about
on
20 feet
shells?
behind you.
Is
Right.
it built
Yes.
on shells? Ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
And also, don't forget that next Saturday, the 2nd,
Yes.
we will either be at the Sky Show at Arms Park or at Millie's outside in the back.
Wow!
One or
many
the
options.
other. One or the other. And on Sunday, we will be in the downtown square of Golftown, right? Smack in the middle of the downtown where they have their, what do they call that? Like
Carousel.
like a start park?
Oh, is that at the John Heichel thing?
Yeah, what do you call that? It's a bandstand.
Jacuzzi.
No, it's a bandstand. There's a name for it. It's got a cover and everything. It's got a roof. What do they call that in the town square?
Gazebo?
A gazebo.
Holy hell, how did I get that one?
Gazebo.
I was thinking about bringing my 80-year-old grandmother to that, but maybe I won't.
Bring a pole.
Mm.
And on the 8th,
Mm.
we have a 92-year-old woman on We'll Let at Large Gone Global who will play the keyboard.
The sheeple dance?
No,
She's good with an organ.
She's
Oh.
good with the organ.
Mm.
All right, so anyway, remember also
Good
on
ones after
June
9
9th, we're in Boston. On June 16th, we're in Providence, and all 3 of us are going and more. So are you guys excited about going outside the city?
Absolutely.
I'm almost aroused.
I'm fully aroused.
It's time I shut you off.
All right, then.
Oh, yes. It's
Have
still a
a good
QCE
night.
news production, isn't it?
Thank you, everyone, for
Don't-
joining all of us on Matt Connarton Unleashed Television Vision. Sorry, Chris, what were you going
Oh,
to
no, I
say?
was going to say, don't forget to catch VE on Sunday nights at 9:30 p.m. We were
Yes.
off for Memorial Day weekend, but we will be back to do a live show this Sunday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern on IPMNation.com and QCEnews.com.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Glenn. Thanks, everybody, for watching. What's that?
That is verbal ejaculation. I'm not allowed to say it on his show, but I'm apparently allowed to say it on yours.
Yeah, we've said it on here before.
Me, Matt, and my co-host, Dan Ranletz.
We have a sophisticated audience that can handle it.
That's true.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.